Well, good morning, and today we're going to make sourdough bagels. So to start with, what you're going to need is a sourdough build, which you're going to make from 200 grams of flour and 200 grams of water and 2 tablespoons of your mother starter. And instructions for that are in another video, which you'll find over here. All the ingredients you need today are in the description, and what we're going to do is take our sourdough starter build, and that's 400 grams of it. All 400 grams are going to go into the bowl. There we go. In she goes, a little bit sticky today, which is good. In it goes. And to that we're going to add 800 grams of flour. 800 grams of flour. And we're going to add 325 grams of water. And to that we're going to add 2 teaspoons of diastatic malt and stir it all up. Now the trick to do is to get it all stirred until there's nothing dry left in here. So there's the dough, all the dry stuff's in, and you might need to add a tablespoon extra of water just to pick up the last bits of flour, but otherwise you're going to leave it for an hour to auto-lyse. Then we're going to add the salt to it, and then knead it for about 10 or 15 minutes by hand, or put it into a stand mixer for about 8 or 9 minutes in the stand mixer. This has been in an auto-lyse phase for about an hour, which just lets all the flour hydrate up. We're going to add some salt to it. That's 1 tablespoon of salt, and it's quite useful just to put a little bit of water on that just to dissolve it to get it to go. So salt's in. Just get it in by hand there. And now you can knead this by hand. It's going to take about 15 minutes to knead it by hand, and it's a very stiff dough. A lot easier is just to take it, put it into your stand mixer if you have one, get it attached here, and off we go. Right, so here it is. We're 9 minutes through the kneading process, and let's have a little look at it here. Right, so there it is, looking really good, and that's all ready now to have a bulk fermentation of about 3 to 4 hours. So the dough has now been proofing for about 3 to 4 hours, and here it is. It's risen quite nicely in there. And what we need to do now is to divide it up into about 110 gram portions. There'll be 14 of them from this batch to make bagels into. So first thing, scrape it out onto your counter. You might need a little bit of flour just on the counter, and get it out. You see it's a pretty stiff dough. Just a little bit of flour, not too much. Just knead it up a little bit there, making sure it's good to go. Now to get 14, it's a bit tricky, but the best thing to do is to cut it into half. There it is. Cut it about half again, into quarters, and then divide these ones up and scale them out to about 110 grams each. Take your scale. Once they're all scaled up, we'll just make them into a rough ball shape to start with. Take them, fold them over, and do this here. Fold it over like this. Just a rough ball, and do that for all of them. Just show you slowly, just fold the bits into the middle there. So about 4 times like that. Put it on the back, give it a roll. So we've left these out for about 5 minutes. They're still not going to be quite ready to shape, but we can roll them out a little bit. And what you find here is that basically if we try to stretch it, it comes back in again, which is fine. And we're going to do that with all of them and let them relax now, so when we stretch them next time into about a 30 centimeter, 1 foot long sausage shape or roll, then they'll be good to turn into our bagels. So we've left these for about 10 minutes now, and they're about ready to turn into bagel shapes. And what we're going to do now is adjust the counter ever so slightly. And we're going to It's the backs of our hands as well as the fronts. You'll see why in just a second. Just a very light dusting, not a lot. And then you need to get some of the flour off the counter, otherwise it won't stick enough. So we're going to take the roll out, do a preliminary roll here. You can see it's reasonably relaxed, it's not coming back in just a little bit, not coming back in all the way. Here's one I made just a few minutes ago, and it's relaxed. You can see I can take it out all the way to a nice full 30 centimeters or so. Wrap it into thirds like that. Put it onto my hand, onto the palm of the hand there. Roll it over. Move it round so I can seal that bit too. Move it round so I can seal this bit as well. Put it into a nice bagel shape. There it is. Put it onto your tray. So here they are all laid out, ready to retard overnight. We'll put them in for about 8, 10, you can even put them in for 12 hours and longer, and then cook them in the morning, ready to have fresh bagels for breakfast. And all you need to do is just cover them in a little bit of plastic wrap, which I've done here, or a plastic bag, while they're in the fridge to stop them from drying out. And they're good for the retard stage now. Good morning. So the bagels now have been retarding overnight, and so they've been in the fridge for between 8 and 18 hours. Any length of time between those two is just fine, and here they are ready to go. You can see they haven't really changed very much inside, but they have actually puffed up just ever so slightly. So what we're going to do now is prep everything ready for our bagel baking process and get on and show you how to do that. It's going to be a two-stage process involving first boiling them, then coating them, and then the second stage is going to be baking them. So let's get on with that. You're going to need a big pot of boiling water. You're going to need another pot, which is going to be iced water. These are ice cubes in here. And then you're going to need to get your toppings together. We've got poppy seed and we've got sesame seed today. So you put that onto a plate so you can dip your bagels in them. And do the other one. There we go. And you're going to need a slotted spoon or something to get your bagels out the water with. And if you don't have that, or probably better in fact, is to use tongs like this, and it'll help you get them out the boiling water. So the first thing you need to do is to peel the bagels off the sheet that they've been on overnight. They'll stick just a little bit, but don't worry about that, and get your water onto a really good rolling boil. So here we go. What you're going to do then is add into the water 2 teaspoons or so of barley malt syrup, which will make it nice and brown like strong tea. I'm at the very bottom of my barley malt jar here, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it, and then just dissolve up the barley at the bottom of that, put it in there, and you can see it makes a nice tea colour in there, which will be absolutely perfect. Give it a good stir, get the boil rolling, and then what you want to do is drop the bagels in carefully with it all boiling away, and then boil them for 45 seconds. So here we go, and we're going to put about 4 or 6 in there depending on how big your pot is. And there's another one. I'm peeling them off the sheet pretty carefully here. One more, and I think we can probably it'll be pretty quick, get about 4 to 6 of them in there. It'll be pretty quick, otherwise they're going to boil uneven timing wise. And what we're going to do now is get a timer going and count 45 seconds. 45 seconds to a minute is fine, so it doesn't matter if it takes you a few seconds to get them in there. That'll be totally good, but not for too long. So the timer's going now. You can see that they're puffing up just a little bit, and you can also see that they have a sort of rough side and a smoother side, and the rough side is where I peeled them off the sheet. There's the rough side here, and on the other side the nice smooth bagel side. So make sure that you coat the correct side when you take them out. As soon as your 45 seconds are up, what you then need to do is take them out with your tongs and put them into the cold water. So let's do that now. Take them out carefully so you don't change the shape of them. Drop them all into the cold water. There we go. Get them all in there. That's why you need the ice in there, because it really needs to cool these guys down quite a lot. So now what we're going to do is take these cold bagels. They're already cold. I can handle them really quickly. Put them onto a cooling rack here, which is going to be like a draining rack today, and that's just going to get most of the water off them, not all of it. and we've got 6 just to show you. So what I'm going to do is do 2 plain, 2 sesame, and 2 poppy seed, so you can see how the different coatings work. Now you've had a couple of seconds just for them to drain off a little bit. Take one here, put them upside down into the coating, and put them upside down onto the sheet, so coating side down. And watch again. Coating side down, just have a look, that's your coating, all right? Nice deep coating, and upside down on the sheet. And then as you go for a different coating, you want to clean your hands off. That's where this water is quite useful. Otherwise you're going to get poppy seed onto your sesame and the other way around. So take these, upside down, there it is, and put it inverted onto the sheet, because that allows it to cook the coating on, and it makes the coating nice and sealed and all the seeds don't fall off in the cooking process. And if you find that there's an area here that's a little bit dry, you can just drop a little bit of water on it like that, dip it back into your solution and fill the gap. There you go. And then the last ones we're going to do as plain. Now the plain ones you don't invert. So they've got a rough side and a smooth side. That's the rough side. Smooth side up. Check it again. There's the rough side. Smooth side up, because you don't need to invert those. You do all of the bagels, your whole batch at one go, and then get them in the oven for about 3 minutes at 500 Fahrenheit, which is about 250 centigrade, or as hot as your oven will go. 3 minutes is now up, so it's time to turn them over. Let's get in there. We're going to turn them over and take them off the silicone or Teflon sheet and put them straight onto the baking stone. And here they are now, the right side up, ready for another 8 to 12 minutes of cooking. So we're now at 8 minutes, that's 3 minutes inverted, 8 more minutes right side up, and they're just taking on colour now but not ready yet. So we're going to rotate them around a little bit to cook evenly and leave them probably for about another 4 minutes or so and see how they do. Let's get them turning. So we're at 13 minutes now. As you can see, some of them are nice and ready and a few of them still need a little bit more time. So we'll take out the ones that are ready and leave the other ones just to get golden brown for another minute or so. So there they are, all out. Total cooking time today was 18 minutes. That was 15 minutes for the longest ones. Some came out at 12 minutes, and that's after they'd been inverted. So that's 15 minutes total time for some, 18 minutes total time for others. Looking nice and golden brown. Cool them off a little bit and get ready to eat.